Hello, welcome back. What am I gonna do today? Too damn tired. Too hot. 33 degrees is just the average temperature nowadays. Every damn day. 33 degrees. Rains, 34 degrees. Rains a little bit more, 37 degrees. It's the opposite of what happens when it rains. Thunder and lightning. Not a cloud, the damn sky. But where's the thunder and lightning coming from? What am I tabbing to? Anybody on DLive? I don't see anybody on DLive.
Played as Maximus. Emote.
Did not appear on here. Oh, there it is. I feel like just thinking about that other game idea for a while. It sounds like more fun than... I don't really feel like doing a damn thing right now. Whatever. What do you got here? You got the islands and the I don't know. Hello, person who joined. Feel free to ask questions if you want to know what's going on. Not really in the mindset of doing stuff at this very moment, so I'm going to try to do something a little bit less. And just, you know, design a game. Which is, it's an idea for a game that I could possibly build within my engine. A city building game where you manage floating modular islands. So it's all up in the sky, you're building a city over floating islands. Each island would be one module of the city, and you could build different stuff on it. And then position them in different ways. And you gotta manage the city, keep people happy and stuff while you float around the place, and you can like board land masses that go by or capture other islands to expand your city. And you could also be raided. Or do raiding of other enemy cities that float by or something, which you can defend from. And you also have resource management of some sort, I guess, which would be food and stuff. So if you want more people, you need more farms, more housing. Not quite sure where the balance would be. So yeah, you can construct houses or housing islands, farm island land things. I mean, then it just gets to how detailed you want to be. Like, farms could be like food and also forests, or it could just be food farms and then there's forestry farms. You're gonna have like food farms, tree farms. They could have hunting grounds, I guess. So animal farms. What about islands which you can mine? I mean, that'd be cool if you could like pick up a floating island and just like build a mine on it, dig it all out. I mean, I guess you don't really need much resources. What if you could mine an island to deconstruct it, basically, and then you can use it to build things? That could be something. So you can deconstruct an island that floated by, and then if you haven't got a use for it, and then you could use it to upgrade islands you already have. So I guess that's this thing. What are islands? You can have small, medium, or large islands. But islands also have a weight limit to them? Perhaps? Clean glasses. Weird. Yeah, so you could have different sizes and different weight limits. So you could have a large one that can't carry much, so it could just be used as a farm or something. Or you could upgrade it by putting other islands that have been deconstructed onto it to increase its carry capacity. So maybe every island has the same thing, and then you can upgrade them like that. So you could do like a level 2 farm if you have the resources to upgrade the island. That could be something. I mean, I guess. Oh my god, damn. Concentration's not working. I can't even describe words now. Mind fading. Too damn hot, too tired. Oh god. It takes effort to keep my eyes closed as well as open. Okay, how about we ramble on about code? What exactly was it that I was trying to do, I guess, is sort of the question. So if I remember right, I'm trying to cut edges rather than faces, so edges keep instancing information. Mm-hmm. So... how would I do that? So basically you'd have a heap of edges like this. And then you want the camera to cut through them. And we want to ignore everything on the outside and just have things on the inside. But to cut through it, we want to cut edges. But we only want to cut an edge once, because the current way it would be working if I had it enabled, it would be cutting this edge, cutting that edge, and then creating that face into two triangles. But then it would be cutting this edge a second time, and then cutting that edge to make that one a triangle, and then that one a second time. So we're doing a whole lot of double. So yeah, this should improve performance because it basically halves the amount of cuts you gotta do, depending on the situation. But the question is, how do I work that out? So I believe the way I would do it is I'd get every edge that is intersected that needs to be cut. And every edge would have one face on either side, so I would create a point, a point, a point, a point, a point, a point. This would be for all sides of the screen. So if I was to cut it like that, it'd be really nice if I didn't have to do this overflow. Because I'm cutting all of the stuff down here, because it is in front of the camera, but we don't know if it's within the field of view. So to calculate that, I would first get all of the vertice locations, which I'm getting anyway. See which areas of this grid thingy they're in. I already have that happening. That's what the thing starting this loop is doing. If I'm even looking at the right place. Clip side. Yeah, that should be what this M thing is doing. So the M thing is, we got 8 numbers here and 0, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, 0 is the middle, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know what quadrant the vertices are relative to this hash thing. And then we only want the ones that overlap. So there's probably some sort of condition here. I don't know. So overlap in a way that could be intersecting with this middle tile. So if there's one there and one there, because this should be by edge. I'm not sure. If there's one there and one there, we could have a possible intersection. So that one would want to get checked. But this one's like entirely in these 3 sections at the bottom. It doesn't go up, doesn't go across. Or it has to go diagonal, or, you know, something that isn't on the same side. Yeah, so as long as all of its things are not on the same side, that could potentially be crossing the field of view. So that one's not, that one's not, that one's not. We don't have to worry about those ones. And this is math that would have to be calculated anyway, so that's not saving any time now. Okay, so then once we get the overlapping ones, we then need to get what edges they're running across. So in this case, there's just two, I think. Yeah, there's just two which have the potential, which are these two lines. No, that's just one. That one diagonal line. One diagonal line is the only one with potential in this that could be going over that. Let's draw that in a different color. So there's only that one edge that is going from one place to another place that isn't on the same side. So with that edge, we'd then want to check it against all four sides of this to see which one's intersecting. So we just run the same code for all things. So we have this edge. We know what faces are on either side of this edge, so we would have to check all of its faces. I feel like there was a way that I could exclude one of the faces. Yes. No. Sort of? Is there a simple way we can check if that edge... No, I think we gotta cut everything. Because we only need to put a cut here and a cut there. But the way that I'm imagining this is going to work is it's going to do an extra lot of cuts. Because this would cut here and it would also cut there. And that's just one side. So another one there, another one there, another one here, another one there. Another one there and there. There and there. Which is a heck of a lot of cuts. But this is necessary because we need the corners. That was the complicated part. Get the corner pieces. So we just need to get this area in here. Is there by chance a better way I could do this? Because I do technically have all of the correct 3D math now. So could I just get these 4 points and project them? Are they inside? No, that's for corners. We would have a heck of a lot of faces that are just going to be going over the edges. But for corners, yes. So instead of that, let's imagine this is a heck of a lot bigger. So now, like that one and, well, that one only. Whoa, that frightened me.
Hello, Fifth.
Oh, I am not used to this new voice for the text-to-speech. Gets me every time. Hello. So that triangle is just intersecting with one edge, but it is also intersecting with this one up here, so it'd probably also be cut up there, unless... I mean, it could potentially be cut by both, otherwise if it did this one first, it would cut out this shape here, and then we know that's not intersecting with any other one. It's all within, so we don't have to care about it. Is this actually an optimization again? I can drastically increase the GPU performance with this, but the CPU is going to be a lot slower. What am I doing currently? I don't think I'm doing anything, I'm just grabbing everything in front of the camera. Huh. Could I use the GPU to optimize this? I wonder. I could for finding the 4 locations of the corners. But what about anything else? No. No, that'd be terrible, because it would take just as long as rendering a whole frame, except it's just for the four corners. Why did I think about things completely differently? How could I use the graphics card to optimize its own performance? Is that a thing I can do? Because it's got to do the performance to optimize the performance. The whole point is it's done on the CPU before sending it to the graphics card, because the graphics card does everything on every single pixel, where the CPU just does it once. So it simplifies what every pixel has to do. But really slows down the CPU. Water. What if... Possibly? Huh. Okay, that could potentially be an optimization. I wonder how that would work. Because the CPU usually, our GPU renders things, but we don't need all of that math just for this. It's got to be a heck of a lot simpler, a heck of a lot faster. All we need to know is intersections of lines. So if I uploaded every single edge, because I know what the edges are, I know where the intersecting... Well,
my volume was down LMAO. How well do you know JS?
About, where'd it go? About this well. That one's on CPU only. And then this one's using the graphics card stuff. When it initializes, a little bit. Any moment now. But yeah, this part is all rendered entirely on the CPU.
Justine Akaru. I would recommend turning off the TDS.
Well, then I have to read messages. Although I guess this isn't technically JavaScript. Well, I mean, what you're seeing mostly is not JavaScript. The JavaScript part is sending all this information to the graphics card. And the everything that's needed to do for this loading screen.
It's annoying for us.
You don't like it? Is it just the voice, or what? It also lets you know when messages are said, like, there. People usually like the text-to-speech.
TDS in general. It's inhuman.
Yeah, this one's trash. I usually use a different one, but it's bugged out. It's a heck of a lot better. It's a much, much nicer voice. If I can find the window. Is it up here somewhere? Weird.
Justine Akaru. Open Discord, then I can talk and not type LMAO. BRB. Hero number 7323.
I don't really use stuff like that. Let's see if this one speaks it out. It's just bugging out a bit lately. I have to restart the browser to turn it back on again. And then it'll only do a certain amount of messages before it dies again. But it is a much, much nicer voice.
5 function test.
5th function test.
Oh, it seems to be working at the moment. Alright, let's use that one. Get rid of that tab, I guess. Yeah. Let's see.
This is a better voice.
Yeah.
Justine Akaru. 5th, do you have Discord?
See, what about that voice? You like that one? Yeah, I have Discord, but I don't really use it. I only use it as a replacement for whatever you call it.
Hey, it is better.
Yeah, it's like the best text-to-speech voice I've ever heard, even the paid stuff. I did like a whole lot of research trying to find a free text-to-speech thing, because you'd expect them to be everywhere because of disabled people, you know? Who would sort of need it. And why would you charge that much for things like that? But no, most of them are absolute trash. They just use the same ones that are in your web browser. But this is Chrome Beta, and Chrome Beta 1 is a heck of a lot better. But yeah, I just use Discord as a replacement for Google Hangouts, because Google Hangouts removed that toolbox thing, and Discord finally added a better, more stable video screen sharing thing. It's still not that good, because its quality keeps jumping around the place, but when it does work, it works really well. But anyway, I can turn it off if you like. I can,
Justin Akaru. Oh god, you are missing a lot.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, everybody's obsessed about it, but for not any good reason other than because that's what everybody's using. It's basically if you just got Facebook and Hangout and Skype, and you turned it all into one thing. Except it can't call people like Skype can. It's not as well organized like Facebook is.
That's because it is amazing. I'm a user of 5 years lol.
Well, how do you use it? It's just like it doesn't. Everybody insists on using it like a forum thingy, but it sucks like that because it's just this big old stream of text. You write your message, and if you're lucky, someone might reply in the next, before it's off the top of the screen, and nobody's ever going to look at that message again. Where a forum, you at least have categories and stuff like that, so you have a list of things, and things get moved around, and you can search and all that sort of junk. You can't do that on Discord. It does not work as a forum. People keep insisting for it anyway. I mean, it's about, what do they call that? An internet chat relay thing, IRC. It's like an IRC mixed in as well.
Justin Akaru. LMAO, you have never used Discord then.
Well, I mean, what else can you do with it? Every Discord thing I've seen is just used like that. Unless you have just a small community of friends. And then that would be great, just you and your 5 other people that are in it. Maybe 10 other people. You wouldn't want too many people though, because then you never see messages, unless you want to scroll for days. Yeah. That and the bot things. There was one for a Warframe group where they had a bot where you would write out a certain command thing and it would tell you what the going rate for items were in Platinum. So that was pretty cool. It seemed to be literally the only use for that. Like, they didn't do anything else with it. But anyway, this is my engine so far. Other than everything on that loading screen is done to this as well, but then it's overlaid with the graphics card stuff. It's all my own code, line by line, no libraries, no nothing. I really like how this turned out. It looks just like it does in the simulations in Blender. It does that little distort thing. It's not a circle. Yeah. Anyway, so I try to optimize it so the graphics card doesn't have to work so hard, because at the moment, most people can't run this very smoothly because it's using up too much GPU performance. So I'm basically trading the CPU performance, which is the blue one, for the black one. It just depends on where you're looking for how bad things get, which for some reason it's perfectly fine right now. I guess because half the area is generally behind me at all times. Yeah. So spikes like that should be gotten rid of.
Are you using Canvas or WebGL?
Both. So this is what the CPU stuff is. As I said, it's all, it's not WebGL like you think of WebGL. I'm just using one fragment shader. Oh, I haven't checked that out with the normal maps. Yeah. Makes my music bug out because you see too much GPU. But, yeah, all of this overlay stuff, that's all done on the CPU alone. The GPU thing, that's what it's doing. This is what's being sent from the CPU side thing. JavaScript sends this to a fragment shader, so one fragment shader that covers the entire screen, and all of these colored dots and stuff, which is all the general information about where you are. You can see the gradient things as locations, because they're moving around the place.
Justin Akaru. Oh god, you make this so confusing, LMAO.
You don't know the half of it. I'm uploading all of the coordinates
Glad I use a friend's engine.
Where's the fun in that? All the coordinates are uploaded in local space. I really like it how they're just up and down columns. It's like every one of those little column things is perfectly the information of a face, I guess, or is it vertices? Do the faces and vertices have the same amount of information? That'd be crazy. Anyway.
Justin Akaru. The fun is that I know his API and that I can build Unity level games in JS.
Alright. Oh yeah, ideally if anybody wanted to help me make something in this one day, and maybe one day I'll find someone, they just model everything out. They do all the art and the things, and I do everything else. You wouldn't have to do it any differently than you would do for anything else. You know, at the end of the day, you just have the OBJ file or whatever. Currently I only have OBJ importing working. And I built my own importer thingy so lights can be imported. I'm not quite sure what lights are usually imported as. But yeah, so this is all just modeled up in Blender and just exported across. I got normal maps working, roughness
Justin
maps.
Akaru, can you show me your file structure?
What do you, I mean, the file structure is I just got a load of text files and then textures and... do I have something else? I feel like there was textures and models. Just one file for each. There you go, one folder. That's the file structure. If that's what you mean. But yeah, it's not WebGL like you think. It's not doing any magical math. It's every single pixel is there because I've coded it to exist. Like, it's not, nothing's doing stuff for me that I didn't create, really. But yeah, so I need to optimize what the, like, currently everything behind the camera is just not sent to the graphics card, but I need to make it so everything not within the field of view of the camera is not sent. So only the things within the field of view. And then meshes are literally cut to fit the field of view. That's the idea. Because by being able to cut it, I could also get the CPU rendering to be a bit better. You'll see, like, if a face, like, the, why is that one disappearing? I guess when the vertices on the other side of that wall disappear, like that behind the camera, that entire wall outline goes
Justin
away.
Akaru, did it actually not send that to your thing?
Send what to the what? What did you do? Oh, okay. Anyway, so if I was to visualize it without it going away when it goes behind the camera, it looks like this. So it's trying to render stuff behind and front. So the optimization will fix that, so I can have
Justin
better...
Akaru, I guess it broke, but I can break it more lol.
What broke? Okay. All of the messages you sent are still there. Anyway, yeah, the problem with the CPU only rendering?
Justin Akaru, it was a concerning development that he couldn't get out of his mind. He'd had many friends throughout his early years and had fond memories of playing with them, but he couldn't understand how it had all stopped. There was some point as he grew up that he played with each of his friends for the very last time, and he had no idea that it would be the last. Lol.
So, yeah, the problem with the CPU only rendering stuff, because this one's entirely down to the CPU, but I can't do per pixel calculations, so Z-depth's a bit weird at times. And I've also got this really annoying wireframe problem, which is just a thing that they decided to put onto WebGL for into the canvas things for no particular reason. But I'm just literally drawing an area, like a point here, move to, line 2, and then close, and then filling it with the color. But when you do that, it gives an AA sampling around the outside of it, which samples with nothing. So every single damn face has this annoying, like, transparent edge mixed in. It's not 100% transparent, it's like 50% transparency. Just around everything, and it's really damn annoying. You can't get rid of it. There's the Z-depth issue part there, these faces. So the one on bottom is overlapping, or on top of this one that should be here. So that one half on the bottom. Because it's just calculated the Z-depth by wherever the center of the face is. And then sorting that. Which... do I do that?
Justin Akaru, he heard the crack echo in the late afternoon about a mile away. His heart started racing and he bolted
You're the
into
same
a
guy
full
as
sprint.
yesterday.
It wasn't a gunshot, it wasn't a gunshot, he repeated under his breathlessness as he continued to sprint.
That make me turn it off again. What was I doing? Oh yeah, is this sorting? I guess is the question.
Justin Akaru. No, I'm not LMAO.
The guy yesterday just copy-pasting large amounts of text over and over again. Story of something or other, like narwhals or something, I don't know. Yeah, the text-to-speech thing is just made, it's just web browser, like there's nothing fancy going on here. It's all free, no libraries or anything like that, other than whatever the browser has, I guess. It just looks like this if you're wondering if you want to make one. It's this one. So I just made this function say speak thingy. I got it so it removes some stuff like this guy's name because it keeps reading it out. It's really long. So it just calls it motto instead of reading all of that out. So I could make one for your messages if you don't want them to be said, so it just ignores your messages from being spoken. Yeah, just getting rid of things, emojis and other things, like if somebody puts codes or link and stuff like that, it doesn't read out the link. Anyway, that's all my code. So it's just really this part. And then this one here. So you just, it's this synthesis, whatever, utterance thing. And then you can choose what voice you have. This gets all of the voices, so you can just have them all as an array and you just pick an index. And just try that out. And then whatever volume you want to have it at. You can change the rate that it speaks and the pitch. But if you mess with those, it seems to not like it very much. I'm not sure about the pitch, but the rate. But it could be something to do with this part of it. Just it stops speaking if you have just too many words there, or it speaks for too long, or something like that. I don't know what triggers it. But this sort of gets around it in some way. I don't really get how, but sure. It seems to just pause and play it, but it doesn't have a delay, so I don't get how it works. Maybe it's just resuming. Either way, yeah,
Justin Akaru.
and just do that.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's just you do this utterance thing, and then where's the text? Oh yeah, there. So you just really need the utterance thing, and then to that you put the text, and then you say speak. That's the bare minimum of stuff you require. Just 3 lines. Yep. Man, the rest of the stuff's just going through my thing, making messages appear, and I have it working for Twitch, DLive, and
Justin
YouTube.
Akaru. I've built one before.
Yeah, YouTube one's weird, and DLive, I have to put a thing into the DLive thing for it to work every time I start. What was I checking? Oh yeah, it seems to be sorting by ZDepth. Do I actually have that? Yes, I do.
Twitch API to the voice synthesizer.
What? It's just, I have a Twitch chatbot thingy, which is really nice and simple to make, relatively. Yeah, you just make a WebSocket, you have whatever you want to put through it, and then some special stuff which I won't show
Justin Akaru.
you get
Don't
from your
make
account.
It complex LMAO.
Yeah, and then you just do this, so that connects you to the chat thing, and then you just receive messages. So when you get an on message function that just comes, like this function just gets run whenever you get a message in the chat on Twitch, which is great, nice and simple. I don't have to do anything. The only thing you really got to do is the ping. The server will ping you every now and again, and you got to send a response to that. Otherwise, it removes you. It removes the whatever you call it, the WebSocket. So you'll just have to reconnect again. So you just got to send a ping, and that's it. The rest of it's just decoding the information it sends you to spit out the message. I also had other stuff that's supposed to be being said, but they updated it some time ago, and I just haven't gone around fixing it. That's nice and simple. What's not simple is the ones like DLive. DLive uses WebSockets, but you can't just connect to it like this because that would be too easy. I have absolutely no clue how you're supposed to connect to it, but I gotta copy paste like a ton of stuff into the console, basically, is the way that I've done it. Yeah, so I think all of this, I copy paste that into the console on DLive, and then it'll send a message whenever, like basically, whenever this div gets updated, which is how it used to work. It's a little bit different now, but yeah. Whenever this gets updated, it just looks at whatever the content of whatever's changed in this div is, and then sends that to my server. And then I have another thingy which loops every couple of seconds, seeing if there's any new information on my server. And that's how the DLive one works. Which means I gotta put the damn thing into chat every time I start. It's very annoying. It's ticking away over here. Every second it checks for another message. Oh, and the YouTube one, that's even worse! YouTube one, you gotta create like a Google developer account thingy, and then you gotta do some, like a whole lot of junk. You gotta make like an order key, you gotta make an API key, or whatever that thing was called. And then you can only check 1,000 times a day. And that's it. If you check over 1,000 times a day and you have a credit card attached, apparently it starts charging you money. So, you need to do all of that just to be able to connect to the YouTube API to be able to see if there's any new live messages on your YouTube live thing. It's like, oh, real pain. So I have it supposedly working, but I never see any messages from it until it's telling me that there's an error and it's not working anymore.
Fifth, I could loophole a lot of chat services LMAO.
Yeah. Those are the best ways I've figured out to get them, but the idea is just to get it.
AI allows me to break and build things.
Okay. But yeah, I just got to get it to run my functions on my chat thing, and then there you go, it appears on the stuff down here. My cursor is black on the other screen, but it's white on my screen. What color is the cursor? Is it black or white? Maybe it's just doing weird compression-y things. I don't know. So what the heck am I doing? So I am doing the sword array.
Justin Akaru, black.
Huh, that's annoying. That must look really terrible. Whatever. Yeah, 1 second. Oh, it's heating up, damn it. What time is it? It's 34 degrees already. 1 second, be right back.
Justin Akaru, well, I'm a Ghost Stream Game Development. Have fun.
I'm back. Alright, have fun. Thanks for dropping by. What all am I doing? Oh yeah, trying to do the triangle thing. Oh yeah, so could I send this to the graphics card? Because if I have each pixel just be the information of an edge, with the first 4 pixels being whatever, and then it can work out where the intersection points are between all of the edges on the screen relative to that. And then if I send that back, sure. Each edge would have no more than 2, 3, and I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, no more than 4. If I had an edge going all the way up through here, it would be cut 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay. So if I did that, everyone would be whichever side it is, so you could only be intersecting one of these edges once with a straight line, so yeah. So it would just be 4 for the 4 things. Okay. What can I do with that? Is the next question. I could also... We also got the corner pieces, which could also be displayed. No, that requires a heck of a lot more math. Figuring out where a location is within a triangle. Also requires uploading face information. Although it could still be done if a face had... No, if a face had 4 cuts, because that's the problem, 4 cuts if I remember right. If a face is being cut 4 times, then it must have a point within it. But then what order of the 4 cuts? I gotta check one way and see if those lines intersect, and then the other way, and if they intersect, that's the location of the corner. Yeah. And then what? Okay. So say I set this to the graphics card, what it would be spitting out is intersections at all of these locations. Actually, no, I wouldn't even be doing those ones. Oh, I wish this had an undo. That one, yes. Oh, what about the faces? Edges, sure, but I need to get the rest of the stuff attached to it. I could do a secondary pass, but that would double the amount of time it takes. So directly, I would be able to simply get that information. Wait, if there is one that's overlapping a corner... No, because this could have multiple levels. Depth. No. Yes. Maybe. Okay, so this space has 2 intersections with 2 different lines. I could check to see if it's less than this one's width, equal to or less than, or equal to or greater than in this case, I guess. To see that that one's there, and equal to and greater than to see this one's here, then we know that one and that one must be connected. Otherwise it could be intersecting up here. So as long as it's within this area, then that would be the corner, and if it was anything outside, we would ignore it. That would mean I would not have to do that intersection. That could work. Why have I never thought of that one before? That would mean a whole extra edge or 2 doesn't need to be checked. So I guess the way I'm currently doing it is I must have all the edges for the vertice things for the face as the 0 to 9 or 0 to 8 locations for the which segment of the field of view thing it's in. Okay. So I need to separate that out into the edges and then sort the edges by anything that could be intersecting with the camera, then get that edge information and this edge information, send that to the graphics card to look for intersections, in which case these lines could... No, they're a scalar. Because this is depth, it's not a 2D thing. Oh, technically, it depends on the depth, whatever. Yeah, because it's a heck of a lot more than just simply getting one line and another line. Because we got the Z dimension to work with. Or X, whatever, distance. So we just get distance that one, distance this one, figure out where it intersects as a 2D thing, and then we can get where the relative position between that line and that line is for this location, and then we get that location and we times that by the scalar thingy of a different thing to be able to get where this location would be in the 3D space, and that would offset how far up or down it is. Why does this matter? All I need is percentages. Does create rounding issues, but there's nothing else being sent, so I got a heck of a lot of information to spare. Okay. Just realized something. Whatever. So yeah, I do have these points inside and outside relative to z depth. Or depth. And then I just need to work out the percentage of where this intersects. And that's all the graphics card would be doing, just where is the intersection percentage. Then I send that back. I have what edges have what intersections, which ones don't. I just ignore the ones that don't. The ones that do, I could get their ID by the information that was sent to the graphics card, or I could set that information up and back down again. And we'll just get it by what was sent, not send it. And even though it'll be simpler if I sent it, because that means I don't have to store things and reference stuff between frames, because this is going to have a delay, because it's not an immediate thing, so this is going to add a few milliseconds of input lag. Huh. I can't remember what my minimum input lag is. Oh yeah, I could also do this with web workers. That was the way I was originally thinking of doing it. Forgot about web workers, I could also mess with those. But again, a web worker adds that extra delay. So, why would I use a web worker when I could just use graphics card? It's a billion web workers in one. Never mind. And getting the information to and from is basically the same thing. There's no extra things one can do that the other can't. One just keeps it on the CPU. But they would have the same amount of delay between them, a minimum delay, so I guess I'll just use the graphics card, build a whole web worker system for nothing. Just to find out the limitations are too annoying. And yeah, anything I can send, I can just send it to the graphics. No, wait. I can return more information and in a different way from web workers. The only information I can return from the graphics card is a 4x32-bit float. For each variable, like for each pixel, each calculation, each worker basically. Each core can only return a 4x32-bit float worth of information, which is how much is that again? 28 numbers? No. It's a completely different thing. No, that is the right thing. What is this? Where am I? Ah, wrong shader. Yeah, that was the right thing. Did I mark that down anywhere? Maybe in here? So yeah, we got 6 per color. So 28 numbers at most, looks like. 6 times 4 equals 24. 28. Okay, apparently I can get 7 per color. Interesting. Can I actually do that? I probably just forgot to update that. I do remember squeezing an extra number out of it ages ago. I should be grabbing the maximum amount of numbers, so... Calculator, just because I can't be bothered. So we got 1, 2... plus 7... plus 7... plus 7... plus 4... Yeah, 27. 27. 27? Shouldn't I have 28? I guess I got one number free. Which means I got 2 numbers free because I'm not using distance anymore. Great! That means I can have 99 different objects within the field of view. And each object can have 9,999 faces. I mean, it's got to be in the thousands for the faces, right? No. 999 faces would be fine. Because I only have a 1,000 face poly limit currently. I mean, but 99 objects, I'm just wondering how many that would be. because that's great and all. But what if I'm doing something like the billboard system I was talking about? Because the billboard system would be able to bypass the poly count limit because it's not really a polygon. It needs more rendering power, but not as much CPU, and the CPU is the bottleneck. All it would have to be is a distance calculation on the CPU. None of the triangulation, geometry, within field of view junk. I mean, no more than any other vertice. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. That's the thing. So apparently got two numbers free once I get rid of that distance one. What was the other thing I wanted to do? Oh, then. Just update that number to be 8. Or 7. That's right? Yeah, well, I mean, that added up there. Unless it's a tricky thing and that last number's a rounding error. Whatever. I mean, because technically I think I should be able to get more than that, or was it less than that? Because it's a 32-bit float. What does that mean? That means you got 32 binary numbers. What does that mean? Wouldn't that mean something along the lines of... Oh, wait, no. 2 equals... Oh, what? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not how that works, is it? Is it? Hang on, let's try that again. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's not how that works. A 30. How does a 32-bit float work? I thought that meant 32 binary. And 32 in binary is the same as just doing that. Every time I would do that, that'd be adding on an extra binary place. And then that would mean I would have to do that 32 times. And this is the number it would be able to handle. Right? That's already more than the 7 values that I have. And that was only like 5 times. Or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Damn it. I'm confused by that again. Because if I can't truly actually have that much information, I could do a heck of a lot more. There's something here I don't understand. Huh? That is what I'm using, right? Yeah, 32-bit float. Yeah, 7 decimal digits. Okay, I must be doing it right. I worked this out completely wrong last time. Oh. How does that work? Okay. So... if I didn't have a float, I could have more. Is that a thing I can do? Let's actually check. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I could have a total of 9 things, and then, you know, I could make a percentage thing to do a little bit more accurately, but at the very least 9. So I could add an extra 2, which would be an extra 8 numbers to it. Which means, what was this, like 28 plus, yeah, 8. So I could have 36. Really? Okay, whatever. 36 places, which is great. That would get rid of the rounding error and have more room. I could add a heap more polygons that could be stored. I think it's that one. Yeah, so I'm using a float once. What is this? What do these mean? Oh. What is a UI? 16. What does that mean? I'm assuming an I is an integer. But what is a UI? Anyway, I gotta go to the toilet. Where's my thing? Do? I am, yeah. We're back. No, back. Oh, stuff never opens correctly.
If we are to survive, a new balance must be found. In normal times, evil would be fought by good.
Yep.
But in times like these,
What?
it should be fought by another kind of evil. Cold turkey.
Delicious. Anyway. Oh.
Cold turkey.
Nom nom.
Cold turkey.
Okay, so let's explain what it is. Oh. What's a unit? Okay, so the I is an integer.
Cold turkey.
What? Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Twice as long, it says.
Sure what caused the fire, which
Bruh.
led to the massive explosion, killing all 12 crew members, taking with them our last and only hope. The CSA space shuttle has been destroyed. The final mission to save mankind has failed. The 70-mile-wide
What was that?
asteroid is set to collide with Earth in exactly 3 weeks' time, and we'll be bringing you up-to-the-minute coverage of our countdown to end of days.
My eyes can see only you. I can't tear myself away.
9? That's less.
I
No, 9. That's the same.
keep hold of you as the waves begin to break. There's something simmering now. I try to figure you out. You keep on pulling me.
I'm assuming this one, because it's twice as big.
Your glow is
Okay.
something to keep. I'm tired of running.
But it's not the size of the number that matters, it's how many decimal places it has. Well. I wonder. Technically. No. I mean, sort of. I could get more information out of it if I was to use a percentage-y sort of thing. So, like, if I was to get this 9 places, and then I was to times 2, that would give me a number. No, because it has to not be a decimal. I could basically mix variables together. Because basically I have 9 places per number. Can I somehow turn that 9 places into 9 separate numbers? I could, but only if it was combining into a single thing. So, what could I do to a number to split it up into smaller numbers that would be the same, and any one of those smaller numbers could be a 0 or a 1? And I would be able to always know their place. That's the problem. And it's got to be an integer at the end. Like, it's got to be an integer that can be done math to make it a number between 0 and 9. But any one of those places could be a... yeah. Nah. I could, if I just wanted two, I could combine 2 numbers together, 2 toggles, or 3 or 4 or something like. No, 2 would be fine. No, because then I'd need conditions. Basically, it would just be like if it's 0, do this. If it's 1, then you are this and that. Or 0 is nothing. 1 is this. 2 is this and that. But then 1 could be that, but not this, so that wouldn't work. Unless 0 was nothing, 1 was this, 2 was that, 3 was this and that. But then I would have to do much more fancier things and conditions and stuff to be able to separate that out. I mean, it's sort of a thing I have. I currently have, well, that's that's a toggle. I only have the 1 toggle currently, though. But anyway, so that would allow me to have like 20. No. Oh, times 4, yeah. Always going about my fancy math thingy for the times 9s, but whatever. Yeah, so 9 times 4 is 36, I guess. Yeah, 36.
Silence signals safe passage.
Just when you do the 9 times, if it's 9 times 5, then it's 50 minus 9. I mean 50 minus 5. 9 times any number is just that number with an extra 0, and then minus that number.
But trouble is on the way. The soldiers sense impending danger.
Check my Facebook. Didn't get a message back. Oh. Go check my notifications. I got 2 notifications. They're just there, showing off.
Is about to become an arena of war.
Whoop. Damn it, why am I on Facebook? None. Why is my internet dying? I hate how it's like tons of buffer, but it doesn't. Like, what are you doing? You got the whole like next minute of this buffer. You don't need to be pausing right now. I have just completely messed up my tabs order. I don't think I'm gonna get a comment for that message. Bruh. Get out of here. Go away, Facebook. What the wall was that on? Yep. So the percentage thingy doing the thing, the boop to doop. So I probably should like write it down or something. I don't know. So we're gonna get what edges intersect with the FOV. So at the end of the day, it just leaves us this one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. Like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All the rest of these edges do not need to be calculated. Okay. So then I send that to the graphics card. Is the optimization that I would be doing later on. I gotta get it working on the CPU first. So find the intersections. If I am going to be setting this to graphics card, it's going to be finding all intersections at the same time, so I should code it with that in mind. How do? What do I do then? So it's easy enough to find all the intersections, and then I'm basically creating new vertices at those locations. Then what do I do? So this edge becomes 2 edges. Or no. I mean, it doesn't quite work. Do I need to create... No. How do I keep faces being faces and edges being edges when I'm altering the edges, but I can't alter the actual data? So I'd have to remove this face, and then add a new face that's here and attach just as the other face was. That's fine for this triangle here, but this one... Go away. But this one is creating 2 faces. So there would be 2 triangles here. I guess I could just cut along there. So that triangle would insert, as it normally does. And then we gain a new edge there with the new triangle? Which just goes onto that edge. I wouldn't have to mess with anything. Does that always work? I don't see why not. I mean, the only combinations of faces intersecting with edges are one with the corner on the inside, one with one corner on the inside, an edge of the screen on the inside of a face, an edge of a face on the inside of the screen, and two edges of a face inside of a screen. Those are my only combinations. Or I guess two edges with an edge. So yeah. Okay, I guess no, because I could still just do it. No, because I gotta also cut this. So no, that doesn't always hold true. That would be turning one triangle into three. Huh. Yeah. It has three triangles to fill in that area. Alright, whatever. So whatever. I got these vertices. No, hang on. So how do I do that? So that one is nice and simple because I could just say that this edge is down there, that edge is down there, job done. Except I can't. I mean, I can, but then this becomes that, and we don't have a thing there, so we need to add a point there. How do we add a point here? Well, we can't just slide that one down. We would have to create a new vertex here and bridge it across. So we need to subdivide that. What do we gotta do? I mean, could I just call this edge the same edge? If it's the same edge, then it's the same vertex, but that means the vertex is gonna come down and that problem happens. So I need to create a new edge, which this is a new edge, that's a new edge, and they replace? So what do I do? We only care about the edge that's on the inside of the field of view. We'll always have an outside one and an inside one. We never care about the outside one. That is never used for anything. So if I just keep the inside one, so I only have to name one edge. So I just put an edge here, and what? So this vertex will keep the same. Okay, so the vertex that's down the edge's line is good. So we want to create a new vertex there. We keep that one. We create a new edge between the existing vertex, which is already attached to everything, and the new one here. This edge gains both sides of whatever the edges that this one had, so it's just that one with a different ID and a different vertex on one side. How do I know which vertex is on the inside, which one's on the outside? Because I know where the vertices are, so I just want the 0, 1. Okay. So that would be an edge. So find intersections with edges. What? Find intersections with edges with field of view. So find edge intersections with the FOV, which ones intersect with it. And then find where they intersect. So find the intersecting lines and find the intersections with the lines. And then make an edge. Okay. And then I want to have the faces from both sides. So reattach faces. Okay. What do I do with this? Because this base is now wrong. I can reattach the edges, but I can't reattach the edges, the face to the edge. The edge to the face is fine. But the face to the edge, it already has 3, so I'd need to replace that edge. Sure. So if I replaced that edge, reattached it, replace that edge, reattach it, there would always be a new edge. So new edge from new verts. And attach that to common face. So this this edge and that edge would both be sharing a face. They would have one face in common. So we would want to attach this edge to whatever the face in common is. Which does require an if, a little bit annoying, but I could not think of any obvious way that I'd be able to just know which edge this is. Because we're just going to have an assortment of edges which have been split. We don't know what's what. So we'd have to resort the faces back into it. Unless I added that. So to the information that's sent to the GPU, we also include what faces... We group them. But that means duplicates. But it doesn't? So if we also added the faces, we could say this face is that one and that, or this edge and this edge belong to this face, this edge belong to that face. That way, when I get it back, I can just loop through the faces. If I loop through the faces, I already know which ones are attached. So I could just say, well, that edge and that edge, create that, they're both attached to the face in the current loop index. Job done. Sort of. The problem is sending that information up and back from the graphics card. The graphics card doesn't give a damn about it. Sort of. The bigger the image, the bigger the amount of stuff we need to do, because I could resize the image so it's the size of the data thing, then it does less calculations, or I could just have a condition to stop it from doing that, because it doesn't really matter, because this is no way it's ever going to be within the limits of what is required. There's many more pixels on the screen than there will be intersection calculation things, and the extra dead pixels, which are not really doing anything, are not really going to be wasting time, because it's using... It will take the same amount of time if they exist or not, so it doesn't really matter. It's just using up a bit of GPU usage, which will not impact performance. Unless you somehow have a potato GPU which only has like 5 threads, you know? So, or less than 1,000 threads. They have billions nowadays, as far as I know. But I don't know. But yeah, the graphics, the rendering would be hecka too slow if you had that little amount, because this is a heck a lot less than it's ever going to be for rendering. Sure. So, the other problem is I need to send the information to the graphics card, which means an extra thing which has to assign variables to locations. Although, would assigning 2 variables to an image that would be the same size with or without them, would that be... I gotta clear the image every time too, that's a whole bit. Okay, so I would really like this image to be only as big as required. No. Oh damn. I mean, yes. Okay, so this image will have to be resized. That means I can make it smaller. Because if I gotta create a new array every single time... Because when it's sent to the graphics card, each pixel is going to be storing a value, and there'll be, yeah, easily enough for each individual pixel. So if that pixel has a value, then the graphics card knows to deal with it. I could just have leftover stuff? Because otherwise I could just skip it wherever the pixel is dead. If it just contains no information, then the graphics card thread in that location or whatever could just not care. Skip directly past it. well, just end immediately. Where otherwise I needed to check a thing? I guess I could do that. So if I reserved a few pixels, and then the graphics card can just check those pixels, and see what... I mean, 1 pixel would be plenty. I could store an unbelievably large number of that. So, with the RGB values, I probably don't need that big of a thing. But anyway, how many of these would I expect? Well, there would be 1,000 faces, 1,000 polygons on the screen at once, potentially, a current maximum of that, unless this severely increases performance. Which means, 999, basically. I could have 999, or 3 numbers worth of information. With 3 numbers worth of information... No, because I need floats and stuff. What sort of file size would I have? I mean, I guess just having... I could have 9, I guess? No. Because this is going to be working on percentages, unless it's not. I mean, any way you look at it, it's going to be working on percentages. And percentages would be better than world locations, because world locations depend on where in the world you are. Unless I want to make it relative to the camera before sending it up, which it currently is doing anyway. Okay, well I guess the question is, when is it making it relative to the camera? Because if I make it relative to the camera, then the distance doesn't really matter as much. The further away it is, the less accurate it's going to be, sort of, not really, up until a point. I don't know. It'll be perfectly fine, really. What am I rambling about? So...
Let's get down to business.
I'm just thinking of weird illusion-y things I could do. What if I times the Z-depth by the distance from the camera to like all meshes? That'd look interesting. Do weird distortion-y stuff. Anyway. But the closer you got to it, less distorted it would be. That way I could have things look really, really far away, but have the same numbers, basically. Whatever. So, what was I rambling about? Yeah, so I could have reserved numbers at the beginning of the data image array, which would be telling it how many edges there are that need to be calculated. Then every pixel would then just say, am I within that range? If so, do stuff. Otherwise, don't worry about it. That requires a condition, a little bit annoying. I mean, at the worst case scenario, there's just going to be pixels that are calculating stuff which is irrelevant. But it'll take the same amount of time to calculate it whether it needs it or not. So I could fill every single pixel in, and it would take the same amount of time as if there was just 1 pixel that was filled in. So do I care about empty space? I could batch things. Well, that could be interesting. If there's any other multi-threaded processing thing that I could do, I could send them up in different areas of the data image and then have it all happen in the same pass. So then I would have the reserved numbers onto a side to say the size of the image for that calculation, size for that calculation. Would I have any other calculations I need to do? I don't know. But that'd be an easy enough thing to recode, I guess. So for now, I think I'm just gonna say it just puts the numbers onto a data image. The data image is always the same. I mean, because we're gonna be sending this data image to the graphics card as well, so really the size would be better. Although I haven't noticed any noticeable lag between the size of these data images. I mean, I'm not uploading a 4K 32-bit... No, it's not a 32-bit. Okay, that's a point. I am uploading a 4K image. I think it is. But... it's not 32-bit, it's just your ordinary... whatever it normally is. So... that's fine? What am I doing? Yeah, so I probably do want to make this smaller. I'll make this image however big I think it needs to be you know, realistically be able to hold any polygons. Dead space is fine. I don't need to create a new image every single frame because I can just override whatever needs to be override and everything else can just be whatever they were before. Sure, why not? What was the point of all this again? I don't even know. I think I was trying to work out if I put the faces on it. Hang on. Every intersected edge along the outsides of the screen will only ever be intersecting with one other edge. So I could just grab one. It does mean I need to do it. No, it doesn't. Okay, so if every edge only intersects with one other face, only is connected to one other face, I only need one in. Sort of. Because I could just get the two IDs of what both faces are. Which one is not the current one? So I could just get one, is this the current one or not? So I guess that's a bit irrelevant. Because that would still technically be using an if every single time, but if I had it on the image, I could just loop through those coordinates and it just says this face is this edge and that edge, or this location of the data image, that location of the data image. Job done. This one is this face and this face, this one's this face and this face, this edge and this edge, this edge and that edge. So it would technically not have a loop. But how do I upload it with that? Because faces. No. Because I just have a whole lot of edges. Maybe? Okay, I guess that's the question. How do I have the information? Am I just getting edge information, or am I combining it into face information? I feel like I'm combining it. God. I feel like I might be doing this based on faces, or if I got everything. Final data is data. Yeah. I feel like you're here, but this doesn't look right.
No, I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, I'll be coming straight back.
Interesting way of doing that. Oh, because of the knot. Okay. So this is per face. So that's going through the face vertices, not edges. Although the edges are just the three, no, whatever. I could do it either way, but it looks like it's set up for faces, because faces is the simplest way of doing this. We just add the numbers to an array, that's all of the points where that face's corners are. Or the total clipping of it. So if one of these numbers is 3, that means all 3 are in that quadrant of the thing. Yeah. So V is the amount of vertices. Okay. So if it's equal to the amount of vertices within one of these things, these would be straight lines. So 3 on one side, 3 on 3 and 3. If it's any of those combinations, then we don't care. If all three of those areas combined are equal to the amount of vertices, so overlapping, whatever. Otherwise, we have the potential of it overlapping with the center of the screen, in which case we want to calculate that. But yeah, this is done on a per face basis. I don't know if... No, we have the vert data clipping. Yes. Because each one's only in one place. I don't know why I was thinking they were in two. So each vertice knows where it is within the field of view box thing. Need another pentagon. So we got 0, 1, 2. Why do I feel like it goes around? No. I think we have 0, 1, 2. How do I draw 3 again? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how I remember it being anyway. Nope, 8 is in the... No. Yeah, so if 8, 1, 2. Which means that's... not right. Is 0 in the middle? I mean, if it was, this whole thing's just skipped to begin with, isn't it? Clipping 0 not equal to V, yeah. So that's 0. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8, 1, 2 would be the top. If the entire face is just within this section, then there's no way it could be within that section, or intersecting thereof. Okay. Blah blah blah. Yeah, 8, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8. Would be the full square. Yep. Which I don't know why, but that could easily be combined with this. But whatever. I don't think there's any difference. Every one of these ors is basically another if, I assume, works by. Okay. So yeah, we know where the 3 points are. We could just grab any 2 points and that would be an edge. So what? So this is the old way where every single face was an independent thing. We didn't have vertice data. I mean, we didn't have combined vertice data. Oh, that just went off. What's going on? You got a new match. A lot of matches today. Winning. Bruh. One day, I'll match somebody who's actually a person. Timing of that song's annoying. So, yeah, what am I doing? What is I? Why is that inside of itself? So I is just the amount of vertices? Why? There's no returns here. I'm assuming there used to be returns. Because I should be the same as V then. Which means it's just this variable. Does I get used within here? Doesn't appear to be. So I is irrelevant because we're just using V in that case. So that shouldn't break anything. Should probably test. I did mess with a few other things, I think. Looking at the right place. Where is it? Yep, everything looks fine. I could have like a line going down. Or even a cone. No. I'd have to work out that size problem. If I could work out the size problem, I could have like a cone. But I'd have to add the clipping distance too. Interesting. Yeah. Ugh. Chair really needs a pillow. Oh, why am I scrolling down, Pitbull? Get out of here. What? I'm derping. Okay, what was I up to? So I need to get things as edges, or if I could get it as faces, I could loop through the edges and find out which ones are on the inside or outside, or I could do it. I mean, I could do this if anyway to figure out the whole face. But I would have to do a check anyway for the individual edges. So this is just a whole face combined. Would it be quicker to do a whole face combined and then the single edges? I feel like it would be. The problem is potentially there's going to be one edge which isn't an intersection. Like that edge up here or whatever. So that whole face would just be completely ignored. I could just check that really easily with this one thing. But this one, I would have to go that one to that one. Is it this way? Is it that way? Is it whatever way it's going? Basically, I'd have to run this again, but for whatever the clipping is for the two edges, two vertices. So that one and that one, is it this? Yes, no. That one and that one, is it this? Yes, no. That one and that one, yes, no. I would have to sort of do that anyway, really, wouldn't I? I mean, I'm already looping through stuff. I gotta not loop through things as much as possible. It's already looping through every single vertex. So with it already looping through every single vertex, I could do this check here. What if I did that? So this would have to be checking whatever the previous one is, and if it's the last one, it would be checking against whatever the next one is. So the first one, so... Oh, that's what I would be used for. Or I could use VIDs. So if this thing is equal to 1, we don't worry about it. If it is equal to 2, then it's 0 and 1, and then 1 and 2, as well as 2 and 0. And that would what? Could I sort of simplify this? No. That is the best way of doing it. Just add them all up, and is it equal to the right thing? Anything else, and we know we have an intersection. So, possibly. Really? Is it a possibility or an absolute? Yeah. No. Going from this tile to that tile, 7 to 5. That could be going like that, which wouldn't be an intersection. But it could also be going like that, which would be an intersection. So... Oh, these are such a terrible mixed bag. They're too damn short to get into it before the next terrible one appears. Nope. Nope. That's better, I guess. Blah 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 blah. What am I doing? So... Sure. Again, the question is edges of... No, because I only want to be... Then it's... So if it was, I would be able to get the Face ID. So, a Face ID loop, in this case... Because I gotta go through the edges anyway. And the edges are a face-by-face thing. No. Yes? That's the whole point of this condition. If we've already checked this vertex before, we already have its information. Just grab it from the already calculated stuff and pump it through. I don't know what all this extra stuff around the place is. It's a visualizer of some sort? What I was visualizing? That's not going to my math visualizer, is it? It probably actually is. I think I was using that at one point. I seem to remember a triangle clipping problem, but that was like forever ago. It's still the same thing, is it? I don't know. So, boop-a-doop-a-doop, what are we doing? So yeah, this is just building all the things, and all of this stuff's gonna go into. If it's already calculated, we could just do that, which saves a heck of a lot of time. Literally half the amount of calculations. At absolute, well, a little bit less than half. Okay, so whatever. We can get by faces, is the point. So what edges interact with the FOV? Sure. Find what interactions with the FOV there was, and then loop. I guess loop edges by face? Sure. So that means this edge and that edge would go first. Sure, why not? Just two edges attached to a face would go. We know what that face is. So, new edges from inside vert and intersection. So the intersection to the inside edge, intersection to the inside edge. We should be able to get that dead easy. There will, oh, this doesn't have a type of edge intersection. One that goes through like that. There's another one. Okay, so what do we got here? We got an edge like that, or a face more so. We got a face like that. We got a face like that. And we got a face like that. Is that all combinations? I mean, we either got 2 in or 1 in. There's no other way that one can go. And it's either on a corner with 1 in or on a corner with 2 in. Oh, okay, no, 2 in. So 2 in on a corner, 1 in on a corner, or none in on a corner. 1 on the inside on an edge, and 2 on the inside of an edge. That would be the combinations we have here. Okay. Let's draw a thing that uses all combinations. Green is the best one to see. So we go to that. We go to that. So 0 in, 2 in, and then we got a 1 in. And then a 2 in and a 1 in. So I mean, I could just do something like that. And there sort of has to be one more for that one to attach to anything. So there you go. That shape uses problem. What? I mean, yeah, sure, why not? No. Let's leave that line out. Whatever. I mean, I want to draw it though. So that shape has all of the problems and then one extra line. Or two. I mean, that one's on the inside, so we don't care. I suppose so. We don't care about entirely on the inside things. That one would just have another intersection. Would be treated the same as that one. No. Because that'd be treated the same as a 2 on the inside. Wait. 1 on the inside. Oh, that's a different type. Because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 intersections on this one that are all on the inside without a corner up here. Oh yeah, and then we have that other one with the potential for if it crossed straight through. Damn it. I mean, but that's boxed inside. Never mind. But then it's still... whatever. So yeah. Let me try that one again. Let's have it red. So we have a 2 on the inside, we have a 1 on the inside, we have a 0 on the inside, we have a 3 edges on the inside, but the corner out. And then we have 1 point on the inside on an edge, and we have 2 points on the inside of an edge. I think those are the combinations we got here. Nope. We got one more. We also got that. So no vertices on the inside. But we're crossing more than just 2 edges. So there's actually 2 forms of this one. There'd be one like this, with just things, and then another one with a corner. So... drawing them worse and worse every time. So we got one like that, and we got one like that. A little bit more on the inside. Okay. So the variables are only intersecting an edge, only intersecting one corner, intersecting multiple edges. So only intersecting one edge, intersecting 2 edges, intersecting 3 edges, and intersecting 4 edges. So 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, 1, 2, 3 edges, 2 edges, and then a corner and 2 on the inside, a corner 1 on the inside, a corner 0 on the inside. I don't think there's any other combinations we could do here. That should be all types of shapes that could intersect, all types of triangles that can intersect with a square. So I've got to account for all of these. Ugh. Which I feel like some of them might not currently even be in, no, because I've removed all of this, it's not doing any of this. But I was doing this in a different build that I had, and some faces were disappearing that I couldn't quite figure out, so maybe it's because I didn't account for these two. I think I only accounted for these ones, and even then, I'd probably miss one here that I had not accounted for. Whatever. So that's what we got. Let's just move this back inside the area. So a corner with 1 on the inside, a corner with 2 on the inside, it's hard to draw those. Whatever. A corner with 3 on the inside couldn't be on a corner. A corner with 0. Let's do it actually in order. So 0 on the inside, 1 on the inside, two on the inside. Okay, no. 0 on the inside, 1 on the inside, 2 on the inside, every time. And I got the same. Must be the way I'm sitting. Hold the structure of my hand, you never know. Let's have a wobble there, wobble here, wobble there, wobble there. It's weird how it scales with the size. Whatever. So 0 on the inside, 1 on the inside, 2 on the inside. You can't have 3. You can't have less than 0. And you go 1 on the inside of an edge, 2 on the inside of an edge. You can't have 0. You can't have 3. Well, I mean, you can have 3. But that's not being cut by an edge, so it's irrelevant. Then you got how many edges? Oh damn it, there's more. I didn't even know somebody was in here. You got 2 corners on an inside. You got 3 corners on an inside. And you'd have 4 corners on an inside. And you need more boxes. So 2 on an inside. Three on the inside. 4 on the inside. Oh, I've got even more. Okay. Is that black or red? Red. So then we got 2 on the inside with a corner. 3 on the inside with a corner. That doesn't quite draw very well. Say that. 3 with 1 on the inside. There'd be no way to have 2 on the inside and 2. And 2 on the inside and 3, definitely not. And you couldn't have 4 with 1 on the inside. Okay. So then you have that other one that was... what was the other one? Oh, was that the other one? Oh, I think that is the other one. So I guess that's what this would be. It'd be one of these ones. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 on the inside would be that one, and then that one. So 1, 2, and 3. And then 2 on the inside can only be that one. And then that and that. Sure. Let's just draw it all again. Just to have a better record.
They say it's better the devil you know. I tried and tried to
Sit up properly.
let it go.
Watch me make no better circuit squares.
Everybody thinks they know all about me, all about me. God inside my head, 'cause I know they doubt me, know they doubt me. No, 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 I'm gonna let go. It's better the devil you know, but I'm gonna let it go.
Wait,
It's better the devil you know, but I'm gonna let it go.
damn it! It's acting weird now. So we got... we can't have 0 corners, because that would just be outside. 1 corner. 2 corners. 3 corners. 4 corners. That one's terrible. Still terrible, whatever. I was drawn better before. Whatever. 1 corner, 2 corners, 3 corners, 4 corners. With none of the other one inside. Let's get this least amount of space to the one that's the biggest. So 1 on the inside with 1 on the inside. 2 on the inside with 1 on the inside. And then we'll that one. Three on the inside with 1 on the inside. And we can't have a 4th one. Oh wait, there's one more. Oh damn it. Okay, whoops. So we got 0 on the inside with 1 on the inside. 1 on the inside, 1 on the inside. 2, 2 on the inside with 1 on the inside. And yeah. 3 on the inside with 1 on the inside. And we can't have a 4th one. That was just such a crazy big angle, it'd be really annoying to draw, so just curve it. Okay. So this way we have that one. And we have that one. So now we want the 2 on the inside combinations, we also have that one. So 2 on the inside with no corners, 2 on the inside with 1 corner. Huh. So 2 on the inside with no corner, 2 on the inside with 1 corner, and we can't have 2 with 2 corners. Is that all the combinations? So, with none on the inside, 1 corner, 2 corner, 3 corner, 4 corner, with 1 on the inside, 0, 1, 2, 3, you can't have 0 and 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, you can't have 1, 4. 2 on the inside, 0, 1, you can't have a 2. And then 3 on the inside is just going to be entirely on the inside. So the only 2 left combinations should be entirely on the inside and entirely on the outside. Which would be that one. But we are ignoring these 2 because we can simply check to see if these exist and ignore them. That should be all the different ways that a square could interact with the triangle. I think. I'm fairly certain that... Oh damn. No, there is more. The other ones that I thought of are not in this list. Damn it. Draw much better, but then stuff it up the last minute. Whatever. And that is just grabbing those 2. Wait. Oh, damn it. That's also another one. That is not on. So we got 1 corner, 1 edge. The amount that's on the outside. So we got 2 on the outside, 1 on the inside, and then 1 corner on the inside. I don't think this is any combination of this. Bruh. Okay, so it's the amount of edges it's intersecting with. Can I do the same? Can I do combinations of these where it's intersecting with different edges than the relative coordinates we got with those ones? So no, that one's that. This one though. We could also get that one in, because we just want 2 on the inside of the triangle, but none of the triangle in the square. So that's the one that I just had. So that would be this. We got 2 on the inside, but none of this one on the inside. And I believe that's the only way we can get that. No. We could put that down here. So that could also be done that way. Okay. Is there like a mirrored version of this one we could also do? I don't think so. We move that one out and that one in. We would have a corner on the inside, doesn't work. Okay. So now grabbing 3 of them. I don't think there's any combinations for that one. Okay. Let me just mark this. Those are all type 1s. Those are type 2s. Those are 3s. I mean, I guess this would be a type 0. And this would be a type 4? Yeah. So none of the edges of that is inside. One of it... Yeah, so this is just one edge intersecting. Okay, if we think about it that way, and this has 2 edges intersecting. This has 1 inside and 2 intersecting. And this has 3 inside. Which would be... You can't have... I mean, this would be 3 edges enter the box. Or are inside of, partially or fully. And this would be... So 1's partially inside, 2... and then 3... And no. Okay, so that one would be an alternate of this. So this is still a 3 then, if I go by that classifying system. It's a terrible 3. It's like a 7. It's a perfect 3. That's a terrible 3. Okay. So that's a better way of thinking about it. So how many lines could you have intersecting the box? So then this would still be a 2. Okay. Yeah, well that changes the classifying. I was thinking that was a 1. Why did I think that was a 1? It's clearly a 2, but it's a different 2. So sure, let's call that a 2, and this would be a 3 then. Okay. Interesting. Okay. And then we had the other ones I was saying. What were the other ones? It was... No, that was... But that was a wrong other one. No, because if that's further out, then it's just, well, that one. Okay, what have we got here? So thinking about it the way I was thinking of it before, it's easier to think of the patterns, but it's easily able to it's easier to label if it's the amount of intersections. So yeah, there's no way I could have 3 inside and none outside. None of that one inside. Oh, damn it! There's 2 different ways of classifying. Because if that's the case, then that's a 1. No. It's a 0-0. That's a 0. Under that classification, there's no red in the green and no green in the red corners. Okay, sure. Whatever. So yeah, turning that down would be this one. Inverting that would be that one. Turning that one down would just be this one from a different perspective. Is there any other combinations I could have here? Moving that in would be this one. I don't think so. I don't think there's any variations I could do for that one to have 3 on the inside of the green. Yeah. So that one with it down like that shouldn't even, whatever. Well, that one's got no other alterations. So we have that one on the inside with no red corners on the inside. No, if I stretch it out, it doesn't work. If I move that out, grab a corner, grab a corner. So that one's on its own. And then we have... I like the order one. How many reds are in the green and how many greens are in the red. That feels like a better classifying thing, I feel. Whatever. Here I was originally thinking there was only 4 different variations, or 3 different variations, I think it was. It was like that one, that one. Yeah, and then the corners. That one and that one. And that one. Whatever. Ignoring these ones. So, this one now, 2 on the inside with the pointy bit. Well, that's... If I move that down, it would be this one. But no, with that... Do I have that? It'd be this one. Yeah. So if I move that... Yeah. If I move that down... No, because we need 1 green on the inside. 1 green on the inside, 2 red on the inside. I don't think there's any variations I could do for that. No, there is. That. That's unlike anything, I'm pretty sure. 1 green on the inside, 2 red on the inside. Because that's almost it, and that one's almost it. It's just if that was cutting across here. Yeah, I think that's a unique one. Okay. Which apparently under the other classification would be a 3. Because we've got 3 green intersections. I guess that's more complexity. Yeah. Almost... I mean, really, that one is sort of the most complex in terms of how to calculate this area on the inside of it. You have to have 2 intersections, and then 2 intersections. And then that one to that one, that one to that one, that one to that one, and that one to that one to make the square in the middle. Then we've got to fill in the points. Yeah, that one's going to be a real pain. Where this one... intersection, 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 intersection. We've got 1 corner there, 1 corner there, so that one and that one to make that. So that one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? Oh, apparently that one's the same as that one. Except for this one's a little bit easier because we can clearly get that intersection there and there. We don't have to go outside to find the corner. Like that one and that one. But it doesn't know that. Whatever, moving on. I don't think there's any variations for that one. 1 inside, 3 outside, whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying for those. No variations for that. Having 2 on the inside, no. Anything I do will move 1 on the outside or put a corner inside. 1 corner, 2 inside. No, I don't think there's any variations I could do for that one either. No. And, well, all on the inside, all on the outside is just that. So, that is all the variations. Any other outside of the box ones I can think of? Just that one. I think that's all of the variations, damn it. Bruh. Originally there was 5. Now there's 15. Is that what that is? Well, 13. Excluding the 2 that are just obvious. Ugh. Ugh. Well, I guess I could continue messing around with that, just organizing and evaluating. So the other thing is how many edges are inside and outside, which would put, you know, 2 inside, 0 would be the same as that one. So that's an alternate version of that one. I mean, should I line it up like that? Alternates? Simple, complicated? Like, I feel like I should write this down now, in a way. I think that's everything. Let me just save that. Ugh. So now I just got to think of how to complete all of these things while maintaining information on the things that could be attached to all sides within the area. Oh boy. That adds a heck of a lot more to the to-do list, but this would fix errors which I was getting. Most definitely the reason it wasn't working before is because I wasn't accounting for all of these. I'm like 80% confident that was probably the reason, if not the main one. It's possibilities. Oh. I need a break. Huh. Interesting. A little data from my group. Very interesting results. Got a different method for how I was posting things for the last week. I thought I was getting a heck a lot more interactions. It's in the hundreds of everything almost. Oh, the only admin. But yeah. And I thought that would have gone up, sure, plus 5%, but only 5%. I've been getting a heck a lot of new members. Apparently that's a 5% increase. Oh, what is this? How long ago? Oh, this is this here. Yeah, 12%. That's a bit better. In the last 60 days. They're just always the same number. What is this based on? Oh, okay. I mean, you gotta go custom all the way back to the beginning, right? As far as it lets you go. Dropped out a heck a lot of analog data there. Like, I should be able to go further back. I think. Because it didn't just spike to that. Yeah, massive spike should be going on. Wednesday is the most popular day now. Huh. I mean, I guess so. Was approving things every Monday, but Monday is really Tuesday, and Tuesday is more like the end of Tuesday, so I guess Wednesday would be when new things get posted. I guess this is days of the week? Yeah. That sounds about right. I didn't post things for a while. Well, I guess... Is this of a month over that amount of time? Every month, these are the days that would be... Okay, I get how that's calculated. It's 28 days. What was that show? Me. I have a score of... What happened to Hauser? Top members. That's cool. Nine comments. Oh, that would have been the guy that did the donut thing, isn't it? Is that AI? Even though my group's post quality is going through the floor. No, it's not this guy. Huh. Where is he? Ah. Oh man. Oh man. Where are all the girls at? Bruh. Are there just no women on the internet? 1.6 women. Custom? All the customs in that range. Of course, India is the top. Doesn't matter who you are, India is always going to be the top. Doesn't matter what your group is, as long as you got over like 1,000 members, India's the top. All damn bots. You don't let them in though, which Got a whole lot less people finding your group. That's cool. I thought there was more details. 10 declined. 10 times I've accidentally clicked on the wrong button when approving. Yeah. Well, I think I'm derped. I don't think I'm going to be making any progress anytime soon. Alright. I may or may not come back on a bit later. I don't know. I'm too out of it. So, I did something. I mapped out a few things. I have well more better of an idea of how things are going to work. So yeah, I just finished writing a list like this. Never done it that way before. And then start coding it. It's well too complicated of a thing to do any other way, because all of this needs to be running. The entire thing needs to be working before I can test it, because I can't display anything until I have a whole face to display. And I can't have a whole face until the entire thing works, because that's the whole point of it. It's supposed to create faces. Alright.